Hi, my name is Lillian. I'm 58 years old and have experienced 34 years of covert domestic violence, otherwise known as narcissistic abuse. But I'm not just a survivor. I am more than a conqueror in Christ Jesus. If this is your first time, thanks for stopping in. And to get a wider scope of what I talk about here, you can look in the description box. There's a link that says why I'm here. If you're returning, I'm sorry you're walking through this, but I'm glad you found your way here. And I'll always remind you to listen to my content with that one question in the back of your mind. Is my marriage difficult, or am I married to a dangerous man? That's the motivation for this channel, what my marriage was like and how I woke up to the truth that my husband wasn't a difficult, clueless guy when it came to relationships. No, he knew a lot, actually, and that's what makes him such a dangerous man. If you're starting to wake up and think that this might be your reality, please be gentle on yourself. You're about to step on a rough ride of truth, a darkness you've never experienced, but just know that you're not alone. I'm here for you. I hope this channel will be a source of awakening, validation, healing, and will show you how God uses a righteous divorce to free you from bondage of narcissistic abuse in your marriage. And remember, as you're listening, if you start to feel overwhelmed or like your reality is disappearing or you're experiencing sensations in your body, like the ground is falling out from underneath you or the walls are closing in on you, you're being emotionally triggered. Your memory has activated your sympathetic nervous system because it's trying to show you something. Please pause the video and pray and ground yourself. The verses I find helpful are 2 Timothy 1, verse 7, and from the Psalms 40, verses 1 through 3, Psalm 139, verses 5 and 6, and Psalm 140, verses 7 and 8. I've linked them in the description box as well. If you're unfamiliar with the technique of grounding yourself, there's 2 links in the description box also, and they will explain how you can bring yourself back to the present moment instead of slipping deeper into the overwhelming experience, the emotions that you might be experiencing as you listen. Grounding exercises, if you've not heard of them, are a way to work within the parameters of how God has created your body. Grounding is simply forcing your nervous system to move from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic so you can calm down. Today I want to talk about the difference between collaboration and consumption. There's a teaching that says men want to be responsible for your happiness. And when you show gratitude for how happy they make you, they get to physically really experience your happiness along with you. And your happiness actually feeds their masculinity. This is relationship collaboration. It's a primary way a healthy man experiences non-sexual attachment and connection with his wife. Another way a healthy man experiences this feeling of collaboration is just a general sense of your overall happiness with life versus being happy over a particular action that he took. This is just your general overall happiness with life. When you're fired up and passionate about something that's especially singular to you, a healthy man kind of takes credit for that too, because that's the way testosterone is created to be. It makes him feel like more of a man to encourage you and push you on to your dreams and passions. They attach themselves to your success and it becomes theirs. Because men feel responsible for their women in an all-encompassing way. They feel responsible for your ups and downs in life. It's beautiful. I love that about men. It's inherent in their testosterone. A healthy man, that is. But if you're married to an unhealthy man, expressing joy and happiness through honesty and communicating openly about your passions and being vulnerable about your dreams is like ringing the dinner bell for a predator or stocking his ammunition drawer for him for him to use on you at a later date. I'm not sure which metaphor works better. They probably both do. It's really hard to see at first. Once you're out of the fog, once you're out of the blindness, you can see the difference. But it's really, really hard to see when you're inside of the relationship, the difference between the collaboration of a healthy man who nourishes you by building you up through your own feminine character and traits and special skill set, and the consumption of those traits by them being extracted from you. The reason you can't see that you're being extracted from instead of nourished is because in the love bombing part of the grooming, you were intentionally conditioned to think that he's trying to collaborate with you. It was intentionally hidden from you, so you couldn't see the truth that he's consuming you as narcissistic supply, that he's actually extracting your own personality away from you, the marriage and the family, instead of being the head and building the kingdom family and contributing. You were blinded on purpose, and you can't see what is being strategically hidden from you. So don't blame yourself. A dangerous husband sees all those positive traits in you, your femininity, your glow, your differentness from his masculinity, and your happiness and your joy as something that he deserves. It's something he's entitled to because it doesn't belong to you. You're his wife, you're his property, so therefore anything you are and be and think and feel and do belong to him. If you experience it outside of him, he sees that you've taken it from him because you can't have it on your own, because he sees that he is above you. You are below him. You are his appendage. I guess I know that sounds disgusting, but that's how they see you, as an extension of themselves. You don't have your own identity. They don't see that you are your own person, that you don't have your own personality or individual personal nuances or traits or needs or desires or wants. It's all filtered through him. And if you are happy and you express that, it's because you've somehow stolen that emotional feeling from him. Unless he has done something specifically to make you happy, like bought you a gift or something, which he generally will give to you in front of others. So if you have any happiness that's rooted in anyone else or anything else or from someone else, he's envious of that and jealous of that because he believes you've taken it from him and he's entitled to have it. So it's the same mechanism that comes from testosterone. It's how they attach themselves to you. It's how they cleave to you. There's a big difference between the unhealthy and the healthy man. The difference is that a healthy man cleaves through collaboration. He feels responsible for you, but the unhealthy man cleaves through consumption of you. He feels that you are responsible to him. A healthy man interprets Genesis 2 when God says it is not good for man to be alone. He interprets that as God is saying the man needs someone to work in collaboration with, someone to take care of. The animals take care of themselves, and that's why after God created all the animals, he said no suitable creature was found. The man needs someone like him, who he can be responsible for. A healthy man sees that God gave Adam more responsibility, not less. A healthy man understands that a woman is created soft. That's the root word of the word woman in Genesis. And she's not just created softer than he is, she's created as the weaker creature too. Peter tells us that in 1 Peter 3:7. The unhealthy man interprets Genesis completely different. That verse about being alone, he intuits that as God is saying, the man is getting a creature so that he won't be lonely. someone to entertain him so he won't get bored when he's not working, someone to be responsible to him for meeting all of his human needs and desires and wants. The dangerous man knows his wife is the softer creature and the weaker vessel. He just doesn't care because her purpose is to make his load in life lighter. Her job is to make it easier for him to share his weight. An unhealthy man sees that God gave Adam less responsibility, not more. A man notices who you are. He sees what you're all about. He wants to share in that experience with you. He wants to become a part of the growth of the person you're becoming. This is healthy cleaving. But if your husband is not healthy, he doesn't accept collaboration. His truth about collaboration is consumption from you, not to share with you or to contribute to you or to collaborate with you. He sees what you are and he wants it, all of your glorious femininity, everything you embody as a woman, everything you bring to the table in the relationship. And this part of masculinity is normal. We are created to be attracted to each other, to want each other. But the outcome is very different because of the difference in the cleaving methods. There's an illustration that captures healthy cleaving and unhealthy cleaving really well. Let's say that you have one color that represents the man, we'll say blue, and the color that represents the wife, which is red. And I also want to interject here that whenever I say healthy, I never mean perfect, right? I know that no one's perfect. No marriage is perfect. But I'm always talking about the difference between difficult trials and tribulations and struggles versus dangerous and deadly. Healthy marriages can have lots of struggles too. It's very different than dangerous marriages. So, in a healthy marriage, the two colors, the blue and the red, they blend to make a new color. But in an unhealthy marriage, there's no collaboration, there's no blending to make that new color. It's all about the blue. He wants to consume your red into his blue because it's not about your red, it's about his blue. You owe him all your color, and the color represents your life, your individualism, all your emotions, all your thoughts, all your feelings from all your experiences. It must be rooted and about him, always. You're his wife, and therefore he owns you. And notice the references, rarely, if ever, by your name. Your moniker is my wife. It's actually a method of depersonalizing you in the grooming phase. I don't have one memory of Dean using my name in 34 years of marriage, only when we said our vows and only during the grooming phase. And even then, it was very rarely my real name. It was pet names that would fit for anybody. I didn't realize that at the time because when you're being love bombed in the grooming phase, you don't realize it. But that's something that I can look back on now, and I can bring that to you, and I can say, and I've done the research for it too, by the way, it's a thing. They do intentionally not use your name because they're generally having affairs with lots of other people. So pet names seem to work better than calling someone by their real name. It saves making a mistake. So when you're married to an unhealthy man, the color of your marriage will not be represented by a healthy, vibrant, deep range of the colors of purple. It will be blue. And he'll compete with you through conflict, throughout your whole marriage to make sure that your red is getting less and less and less, and his blue becomes more and more and more pronounced, and that the blue becomes the only true color that you yourself see. You will stop seeing your own red. Closing thoughts. First, shh. Don't say a word about this to him. Discovering that your husband's dangerous is a scary place to end up. It's never where you thought you'd be, and it feels like an unreality. But your silence about your awareness of what he really is, that's your safety zone. And always remember, a clueless guy that causes dysfunction and seems difficult, he's not dangerous. But the malignant man is not clueless. He just pretends to be difficult and dysfunctional so that he can hide how dangerous he is.